Hi, I'm Jason, and I'm going to teach you guys how to use the debug menu. Alright, so here I have some code. Make sure your launch.json looks like mine. Keyword being this part. You want there to be an external terminal for the console. This is default, so it should be okay. We just want to make sure that there is that there's an input line down here. So this is a program I wrote up just for showing how to debug. So let's try running it with your build and debug. But first, let's talk about breakpoints. This is a breakpoint. It's a red dot in VSCode. Basically, this acts as a pause point, and basically, the program will pause here. I'll go into depth a bit further. And one more thing, here is the debug menu. This is where we'll see all of our variables. This is where we can set some conditions. We will really only be focusing on the variables, our breakpoints. As you can see, this is our breakpoint, plus we could enable exceptions, but I won't for this example. And we will see all our call stack, and they will make sense in a moment. Let's just debug for right now. So hit paused here. This yellow spot is where where we are in the code. I'm just gonna set a second one. It does not like going over this part, but I am going to set. I'm gonna just set user input string to something. I'm gonna set pets to like 2 for this example, so then it goes through the right area. If pets is equal to 0, it's going to go through this. We don't want that right now, because yeah. So basically, here is our navigation menu for the debug menu. This will continue until our next breakpoint. This will go another line. This will go into a function, this will go out of a function, this will restart our debugger, and this will stop our debugger. So we're going to continue to our next breakpoint right now. And our pets is not equal to 0, our pets is equal to 2. So we can go here, and now we're going to step into this function. So basically we're going into meow. So now our locals have changed, because our locals used to be user input string and pets. Now they are user meow and n, because n is declared here, user meow is declared right here. And we can keep going as this is developed, and we see I is added as well. And now we're going back through to here. And we can see for strings, we can see what they look like. Right now it's just E and O. That would be right here. This is what our string looks like for strings. Some data types, such as vectors, can be really tricky, but you guys are just going to have to figure that out on your own. And now it's just now this line turned it into meow. So it's because it added an M at the start and a W at the end. It's going to return user meow. Another way to look at this is by using our debug console. We can type in a variable name, so either I or not I. N would be a better thing. And we can see n is equal to 2. This is very similar to the console that you will see in inspect element in Chrome. It's very similar. It operates. So if you're familiar with that, you will be familiar with this. So if we enter in user meow, we just see this object. So that this is, and if we want to see our data, this is our data. This is for This is for a string specifically, but you can figure out on your own what else it is. We can also set variables, so we could set n to 5 in here. So n is now equal to 5, and that will take effect for this program. It's the same as using a line, except it's more neat. So now we're going to keep going. And now we see that the cout is in blue. And we're just going to turn this to 0, just so we can end this program. And now this decided to break, but let's pretend it didn't. Regardless, this is basically how you do one of these programs. You set breakpoints by clicking here in VSCode. And yeah, I believe it's all the basics. Breakpoints are here. As I said, this is where our call stack will be. So if I restart our debugging process, we can see this is, if we click here, this is where we are in main, and this is where our program is. This is where our debugger is, and this will basically show us every single function that we have called. Original is our file name, so that's the file itself. Ignore all these, they don't matter. But yeah, this is basically the basics on how to use debug. Thank you for attending my TED Talk. Goodbye.